Hello friends, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel to support us. Thanks in advance. Honda has had a few all-electric vehicles in its past, like the EV Plus, as well as limited releases of the Fit EV and Clarity all-electric, not the CEF, and the more recent retro-inspired Honda E sold only in Europe. But the 2024 Honda Prologue is set to be the Japanese automaker's first mass-market electric car for the US, marking a critical step for the brand. Honda needed a little help from GM and its Ultium electric platform to make the Prologue happen, but if nobody told you this, you wouldn't really know. The 2024 Honda Prologue has all the staples of Honda's existing SUV design language. It's meant to look muscular yet sporty, but the Prologue is unique to most Honda SUVs when it comes to the area above its beltline. The greenhouse is much lower and more aerodynamically efficient than the boxier Pilot and Passport. You see this mostly in how the roof rakes down as it approaches the rear. In fact, the 192-inch body length is nearly the same as the Passport's, but, thanks to its short overhangs and proportioned doors, the Prologue has a much longer wheelbase at 121.8 inches. When you compare it to the Honda CR-V, the Prologue is 8 inches longer and 5 inches wider than that popular small SUV. While this is a Honda SUV, the 2024 Prologue will have noticeable changes in how its badging looks. The typed-out logo you see on the hatch comes directly from the Honda E-Compact hatchback introduced in other markets, with an old-school-like font that uses lowercase letters after the H. This Honda logo will only be used on the company's all-electric vehicles, so don't expect to see it on your next Civic, CR-V, or Accord, even as electrified hybrids. The other all-electric only badge is the E, which we see on top of the AWD badge and will also denote an all-electric Honda. Of course, the biggest questions are what's the deal with the GM partnership and how did using an Ultium platform affect the 2024 Honda Prologue. Standing outside the SUV, there aren't any signs it uses anything from GM besides the 6 lug wheels, which are 21-inch aluminium units on the Prologue Elite AWD and are the biggest wheels offered on any Honda. The major point is that Honda couldn't announce it was going to use Tesla's NOx charging port until after GM did. It also can't switch its charging port until the Ultium platform switches to the NOx port soon, so the interim solution is to offer a NOx charger adapter just like what is being offered by other OEMs that are making the transition from the J1772cc's port. It also means Honda has only one battery pack to offer across the Prologue's trims, an 85 kWh pack for the X, Touring, and Elite. There's good and bad news in offering only one battery pack. The good news is it does simplify the Prologue options, and the pack's size offers decent charge times across all trims. The 85 kWh capacity means you'll be able to get up to a 155 kW charging rate on a DC fast charger and about 65 miles of range in approximately 10 minutes, according to Honda. The bad news is you won't be able to compensate for the additional draw from the second GM-supplied motor when you option for a dual-motor AWD on the Touring trim or get the Elite trim, which has the dual-motor AWD as standard, by getting a larger battery pack. Honda does expect the single-motor Prologue Forward will be able to drive more than 300 miles on a single charge but couldn't offer us an exact number just yet. The company reassures us the calculation is based off the EPA drive cycle testing, and that the single-motor Forward is tuned for confident acceleration and maximum efficiency. Honda also assured us the drop in range won't be horrible for the dual-motor AWD versions that will generate 288 horsepower and 333 pounds-to-foot of torque. Add in the additional weight of the 21-inch wheels used on the Elite trim along with its sport driving mode, and that range will take a hit. That's why the Forward X and Forward and AWD versions of the Touring will also use 19-inch wheels on 255/60 19-inch tires that will also be narrower than the tires found on the 21-inch wheel with its 275/45 rubber. With the rear seats folded, the 2024 Honda Prologue has 25.2 cubes of cargo space. With the 60/40 seats folded down, that expands to 57.7, but the seats don't quite fold flat. They still have a tiny bit of incline and feel like an odd choice considering the fact the Passport, Pilot, and CR-V seats do fold entirely flat. Honda said that slight incline helps with getting cargo out when using the full space. Another constraint of using the Ultium platform is how the controllers and HVAC are packaged up front. This leads to the Prologue, and other GM vehicles on the same platform, to not having enough space for a front trunk. Honda was able to compensate for this by adding 0.8 cubic feet of cargo space under the false floor, just behind the space for the tow hook and the tire inflator kit. The company hasn't provided an exact on-sale date or price for the 2024 Honda Prologue. For now, it says to expect its first all-electric SUV to be available nationwide by early 2024, with a price in the upper $40,000 range. Honda will open pre-sales of the 2024 Prologue later this year, and that's potentially when we'll learn more.